Can you explain this?
Okay, so answer this.
Yeah.
Would you or would you not?
Okay.
If you can answer this, I'll continue.
Okay. I want to ask you.
Yeah, that is the point. If
That's
you
the
can
point.
just give me the answer. Would you or would you not?
What is the importance in giving up pizza?
I mean, it's a hypothetical question.
Okay.
Would you give up pizza to stop
Yes.
rape? You
Yes.
would, right?
Yes.
Okay, so would you give up any other, like, let's say, milkshake to end rape? Would you?
Yeah, maybe.
You would, right?
Okay.
So basically, the connection between a pizza and rape, what do you think it is? What do you think the connection is? This is actually a hypothetical question, but what do you think the connection is?
I don't get it.
Okay, so what is rape?
Rape is something without permission or
Exactly.
without their relation they're
If
having.
you exploit their sexual reproductive system without someone's consent, that is rape, basically. So, what do you think happens in milk industry?
Milk industry.
Okay, define milk. Basically, what milk is?
It's a protein rich food.
I'm not asking what's in milk.
Okay.
I'm asking what is the definition of milk. Basically, if someone asks you a general question, what milk is, what would you say?
Feeding off.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
feeding off.
It is a mother secretes milk to feed an offspring when the child can't chew food, right?
Yes.
Basically, everyone produces milk. Humans produce milk. Cows produce milk. Dogs produce milk. Yeah. Cats also produce milk, right? So, when do you think they do produce milk? When they are pregnant.
Yes.
When they give birth, they produce milk, right? So, the milk we consume, where do you think that comes from? Milk, cheese, paneer, all those stuff. Where do you think
From
that comes
the
from?
animals.
From the cattle, yeah, yeah, yeah. From cows, goats, and majority is buffalo. So, what do you think happens to the, like? Do they produce milk 24/7?
No.
They produce milk when they're pregnant, right? So, what do you think they will do? Will they wait for them to get pregnant? Like casually. You have to feed 8 billion people in the whole wide world. Will they wait for the cow to get pregnant and then give birth and then feed the child and then give milk to you? They won't, right? So basically, what happens in the milk industry is they artificially inseminate the cow. You know what artificial
Yes.
insemination is? So for that to happen, what they do is they electrocute the bull's penis and they collect the semen. They only need one bull. They don't need 10 bulls to artificially inseminate 10 cows. They only need one bull. Okay. So they extract the semen and they put it on tip of a rod and put it on top of a metal rod. They insert the metal rod into the cow's vagina and they put their hand into its anus to properly place it into the ovary. If this happens to a human person without their consent, what will you call it? It is rape, right? But this is happening day to day basis just for our consumption and just for our need to drink milk or cheese or butter, etc. etc. So, would you still support that?
No.
But we are habituated to doing so. That is because we've been told, like, fed with lies that milk is first fed to the calf, and then that's not what happens. What a cow basically, it can only give birth to 2 to 3 children. After that, it stops. Its body cannot support another child. So, what do you think happens to that cow after that?
It's almost like no use.
Exactly. What do you think they'll do with that cow?
They may kill or throw it away somewhere.
Exactly. Right, you're right. So, okay, what do you think happens to the male calves? It's 50-50 choice, right? Like if a
Yes.
cow is pregnant, it's either going to be a male or a female. You can't control that. What do you think happens to the male calf?
America, the same procedure happens in the.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They only give, like, let's say, 1 in 100 or 1,000 male calves, and they send the rest to slaughterhouse because their skin is very soft. Children's skin are very soft, so that leather gets them a higher price. So the cow is artificially inseminated again and again, 4 or 5 times, and then once it stops, its body can't support another baby. What they do is they impregnate it one more time, and they send it to the slaughterhouse. That is because they get a higher price because its weight is heavier. It has a baby inside, right? So this is what actually happens. We think that
Reality.
yeah, that is the reality. We think that the calves are fed the milk and then later the extra milk is fed to us. That's not true. This is what happens to it. So that is the comparison between milk and this
So
thing.
we need to give not only pizza, right? Lot of milk products.
Yeah, yeah, that is just a question to attract people.
Okay, thanks.
And the same thing happens. This is not just in milk industry. The same thing happens. What do you think happens in an egg industry?
Egg, I think the same procedure.
Yeah, they are artificially
Almost, yeah.
inseminated again. Almost the same procedure. I agree. So you can't control how male chicks can't produce eggs, right? So you can't control that. What they do is they have a separate room for that called hatchery. The eggs hatch, fertilized eggs hatch, and those chicks are sent in a conveyor belt. A person sitting over there will separate them as male and female. So the male chicks go in a separate conveyor belt. What do you think happens to that male chicks? Male baby chicks, 1 day old male baby chicks. They are ground alive. They have a grinder at the end of the conveyor belt. They are ground alive at the age of 1 day. If this happens to a human person, we'll call that infanticide.
Infanticide.
Yeah. Just because that happens to a non-human sentient being, we do this. And what do you think? I mean, we already know what happens in milk industry, right? Sorry, meat industry. It's the same thing. So the milk is basically in India, people don't consume beef much, right? Because of their religious thing. So they are sent to the, they are exported. So India is number one milk consumer, and they're third in beef exporter. Do you think they both are separate things?
Yes.
They are two sides of the same coin. Like just because we are consuming this much milk, these many beefs are exported. So the only message I have is stop consuming animal products.